Hello everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today we're doing a box office preview as we now have the first initial numbers for Jurassic World Dominion. Not really all that excited for it. However, the numbers for it, as far as the projections of its opening weekend and total domestic gross, are actually looking quite impressive. We also have some updated numbers for Downton Abbey, A New Era. Shout out to Tina, Empress of the Universe, who was just asking about that the other day. And also some updates on Top Gun Maverick, which, similar shout out to Tina, who I know will not care at all about that discussion because, obviously, she is not a big fan of Tom Cruise. But with all that being said, please make sure you smash that like button, light up that fire button over on Odyssey, and also make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with that bell notification turned on. That way you know every time a new video or live stream goes live on the channel. We'll also have some updates for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, as the film is continuing to make tons of money every single day. And let's just say the weekend projections for it on where it'll be after the first 2 weeks of its release are still setting it up, as I've mentioned in the last several videos, really setting it up for a billion-dollar success. Some people have tried to say, well, Batman, wasn't able to do $1 billion. Yeah, but Batman wasn't doing the same numbers that this film is doing at the same rate that it is doing it. And so that is what I have to say to that. But let's get to these new numbers. So Downton Abbey, A New Era, which is expected to come out next week. One more week, Tina. Downton Abbey, A New Era, the second film in the Downton Abbey saga, is expected to open to $17 to $21 million, expected to make $48 to $65 million in its total domestic run. That's a 3% increase, according to the numbers from Box Office Pro. So again, looking pretty good there. I imagine that this film will also have an international presence, and we'll probably be able to make some money from that as well. Let's go ahead and try and see if we can do, because we like to do these things live, see if we can find ourselves a budget for this film. Interestingly enough, it doesn't seem that the Wikipedia page was the first thing to pop up, as that is one of the better sources, even though Wikipedia, of course, is trash. But it's good specifically for trying to find things like budgets, as they typically will always have them mentioned here in some way. It looks like that it hasn't. It has already made $22.3 million, though. It looks like it already has been released in certain countries, so we'll have to wait, of course, to see what the budget will be for this movie. I doubt that the film will have cost all that much money. Let's see what the first Downton Abbey film cost. Yeah, the first one only cost $13 to $20 million. I suspect that this film probably cost around the same. That first film made around $194.3 million worldwide, and so I think that we can expect that this film maybe to reach that amount, maybe not as much, but either way, should be able to easily make its profit, as again, that's a very low budget for it to be able to have to overcome. So it looks like good news for the Downton Abbey era and for fans of Downton Abbey as well. We also have Top Gun Maverick with some updates here. So Top Gun Maverick, which, as you all know, I'm most excited about. 2 more weeks, baby. Come on. Let's get there. 10% up. So that's very exciting for me because, as you know, this has been my most anticipated film now for almost 2 years, as it continues to have been pushed back. But finally, we have a date. It looks like this date is set in stone. There's very little that could impact this date moving, and it looks like the people are going to be responding to it in kind. Expected to have north of $100 million opening weekend domestically, making anywhere between around maybe $300 million to $400 million at max in the domestic market. This film could also be a major hit in the international market. So whether or not the film reaches $1 billion, I doubt that that is really in the cards for this film, based at the very least on that domestic number. However, it is likely to make its money back based on the typical cost for these types of movies, where, again, $100 to $200 million budget likely for this movie, meaning that it needs to make around $300 to $500 million worldwide to break even. So if it's able to at least get to the $300 million mark in the domestic market, I imagine that $200 million would be pretty easy in the international market. So again, 300 million or so if it's able to make that domestically, 200 million plus in international. I think that the international is probably going to be a lot larger than that, but it looks like this film also set to be a box office success. So the summer box office is back, baby, but not so much for, or rather not as much, I should say, as what is expected from Jurassic World Dominion. So this is a surprise to me. This is the third film now in the Jurassic World franchise. The first one was fine, I guess. It had some issues. I wasn't really a big fan of it. The second film, I ended up not seeing. I thought I had seen it, but I think maybe I've seen clips of it, but yeah, just wasn't very good. Colin Trevorrow even like apologized to the fans for it. So that makes me think that maybe this film will be a little bit better if he takes what the fans said to heart. There's obviously a lot of member berries and nostalgia that have been thrown into this film based on the trailers. And right now, it seems that it's working, or at the very least, it seems that Jurassic World has a pretty big fan base. And also that the fan base is not all that caught up in the fake drama surrounding star Chris Pratt, as Twitter would make you want to believe. Apparently, they must be a fan of Chris Pratt or something. Anyway, I digress. So the film is expected, though, with these new numbers, $165 million to $205 million opening weekend, which is pretty amazing. Again, look at how much higher the Jurassic World Dominion opening weekend is compared to Top Gun Maverick. And then the entire domestic run, 460 to 575. So this film is expected to make around $500 million just in the domestic market. This film here, theoretically, if these numbers hold or if these numbers improve, and if it has a massive showing in the international market, could itself even be a billion-dollar film. Not one of the films that I would have pegged this year to reach $1 billion, but then again, neither was Doctor Strange 2, and yet that film, based on the end of this weekend, likely will be in a very similar camp. So I find this all very, very interesting, and again, very, very exciting numbers for people who are Downton Abbey fans. For me, Top Gun Maverick, again, can't wait to see that bad boy in IMAX. The cinematography, I just want it to blow me away. People have already gotten to see it, and I'm so mad that they've been able to see it already. And I've heard really good things about it. So I'm, again, very hyped for it. Obviously, cinematography is going to be the biggest thing for me, just because, again, they have those cameras in the actual jets. You have the actors that are actually in the jets, flying in the buddy seat in the back, feeling the actual G-forces. I think that it's just going to look incredible. I think it's going to be a filmmaking spectacle. It's going to be, again, everything that I would want in a movie, especially from a cinematography standpoint. And again, Joseph Kosinski, who's the director, has made some really great films that I love, Only the Brave and Oblivion being two of them. So I'm very excited to see what he is able to do working once again here with Tom Cruise, because last time he worked with Tom Cruise was on Oblivion. And I thought Oblivion was great. I thought Oblivion was a very underrated sci-fi film. So anyway, these are the numbers as they stand for the films that are set to come out. Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, for an update here, still doing incredibly well. Again, over $200 million domestically, over $300 million internationally. Right now at $532 million. And that's before the weekend numbers actually come in. Going to my box office prediction chart, I've now plugged that new number in. And now we're looking at a worst case scenario of this film being around $622 million, and a more likely scenario of the film being somewhere between $600 and $700 million by the end of the weekend. So again, these are based on what the entire drop-off will be, not just the domestic drop-off, but also the international one. Because if the international one is a pretty strong hold, that could be a very good indication that this film is well on its way to $1 billion mark. So again, these are just some of the ranges that I was able to come up with, but the most likely of them is that we'll see either a 60% drop overall. You could even just say, let's assume that the international drop is very small. What if the international drop's only maybe 30%, but the domestic is around 60%? You could see the numbers average out where it's about a 50% drop overall. You could see the film then make around or end up around $757 million. And if it falls into that range especially, it making money will be almost a foregone conclusion at this point in time. So anyway, I just want to give an update about that. And what are y'all's thoughts? Are you excited for Downton Abbey, A New Era? I know Tina is. Shout out to Tina. Top Gun Maverick. You all know I'm excited for it. Are you excited for it? Again, I think these numbers are looking pretty good. I would like for them, of course, to be a little bit better, because I wish Top Gun Maverick was going to be one of the top grossing films of the year. Doesn't look like that is going to be the case at this point, but hey, it is looking not to be a box office flop, which I am more than happy to take as a consolation. And then also, what are your thoughts about these new numbers for Jurassic World Dominion? Do you think it's going to be as big of a film as they are projecting it to be? Again, personally, I don't quite understand it, but hey, there must be a fan base out there, and there must be a lot of people that still love them some dinosaurs. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. If you like this video, smash that like button, love that fire button over on Odyssey. Y'all are all amazing and beautiful people. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, God bless. Before going any further, I wanted to give a very, very huge special shout out to one of my Valkyries, one of my longtime supporters, Tina B, the Empress of the Universe. Thank you. Thank you so much for being a supporter and for being a mod on this channel. And now for a huge special shout out to all of my members who are at the Keeper of the Bifrost level and above on Patreon, Subscribestar, and Locals. So first on Patreon, Brandon, let's go Brandon, Christopher Bowman, Garrett Searles, Hymir Irie Hymason, Jacob from Holland, Jacob Juice, who you can check out on his Letterboxd. Jacob Juice is how you can find it. Jeffrey Toon, Joey Horn, Jonathan Carney, Laura, the Modern Major General, Story, Mad Mike Jackson, special shout out for him in a second, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Orange Hat Reviews, you can check out his channel, Orange Hat Reviews, Rosetta Allen, you can check out her channel as well, Stan Andrian, and Miss Martin Muses, who also has a YouTube channel, and a special shout out, as I mentioned, to Jacob Juice from Holland, again, letterboxd.com/Jacob Juice for more information about him, and a special shout out to my members over on Subscribestar, Matt 317, Storm Tracker, The R, Fast Reaction, Mr. Roy, J-Rod, the Beer Guru, and ZK-Man. Thank y'all very much for supporting on Subscribestar. And to two of the members who are supporting me over on Locals, who asked for special shout-outs. First off, Minnesota hockey fan. Let's go. Let's get a hockey player. And UAB, Mad Dog, Mike Jackson for the win. Thank you very much for supporting me, and also Robert Barnes on Locals as well. Anyway, if you want a special shout out, and Brett D90 for that matter, if you want a special shout out at the end of every single video, please check out that top link at the very top of the video description. It'll give you more information about the different tiers and what you get every single month. Thank you guys for your love, for your patience, for this month's shout out video as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, God bless.